Yes, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are right now and what time it is. Yeah, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. I'm gonna connect my headphones now. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. So I hope you can hear me loud and clear. This is my second attempt at doing this. The other time I was just my laptop was acting up and I was just a little bit weak. So the presentation was kind of weak. So I decided to take it again, run it again, and got some coffee in me right now. It's a beautiful day, so I want to continue with the series I'm making. So this is the third part of the series. It is a course, or it's a course, yes, or it's just me walking you through my own perspective of Oracle EBS to OCI cloud migration as an implementation lead. So it's primarily looking at it from the eyes of a project manager, not a technical lead. So it's a bird's eye view on what every implementation lead should know. And in the first part, I spoke about Oracle EBS suite and all the different applications. I spoke about OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. I explained the entire cloud infrastructure and the different cloud products that are of particular, in fact, the entire Oracle Cloud infrastructure. I also broke down the Oracle three-tier architecture. I spoke about integration and migration. I spoke about the different ways in which you can different pathways to the cloud, which include an extension of your existing EBS with adding some cloud features to your EBS. Spoke about total transformation from EBS to a SaaS solution. Spoke about re-architecting your application on the cloud. And I spoke about lift and shift, taking it as it is and moving into the cloud without any changes or with minimal changes. That was the first part of it. Second part of the entire thing was end-to-end project management, a bird's eye view of end-to-end project management. So project management is a very complicated skill. And most people think it's just about, pushing for deliveries to the end, but it's very complicated, especially now where we have waterfall and agile methodology being married together to produce one methodology. And as far as cloud projects implementation is concerned, you have to marry those two concepts together. So in that series, in that part of the series, the second part, I used a hypothetical situation where we were doing a migration for Here's Holdings, which is a big player in West Africa in real estate, in finance, and in one or two other areas. So this is not the actual project. It was just a hypothetical situation here. I used it for explanation purpose. So what I did there was that I explained what what a project manager must know before the project even starts. And this is with regard to the customer's needs. So breaking down the business case and creating a project charter from that, and then expatiating that project charter to create a project management plan. The project management plan is threefold. The first part is the master plan, which is a blueprint or a constitution for how the entire project would be managed. So how would changes be made? How would changes be managed in the project? Whenever there's supposed to be a change, you go back to the constitution that was built just after the project charter. Whenever there's supposed to be resource handling, how do you release resources in the project? How do you manage cost? How are we going to manage all the different project management plans are in there? So how you manage changes and everything is like a constitution or a blueprint for the entire project. These are mainly organizational process assets. So if you want to work for a big company like Accenture that has over 45,000 Oracle professionals, they have a standard way of handling migration, and they have thousands of migration leads who manage migration in different different cloud setups and from different on-premise setups or from different cloud to other cloud setup, hybrid multi-cloud professionals. So they have standards and procedures for managing all these things. So you get most of the master project plan or the project master plan from the organization. Then I spoke about how we also break down the project into a work breakdown structure. So these are lists of different activities that will be carried out to handle the migration. And then the last part of the project management plan is the deliverables and the artifacts, because the process of bringing out of satisfying the client's need is all about the artifacts and the deliverables. The artifacts are like reports and templates and all these things that you use to actually manage the project. And then the deliverables are the things that satisfy the client's needs, which is the essence of the project, the essence of value delivery. So in the third episode now, we're going to actually talk about the work breakdown structure. Okay, so I've created a work breakdown structure here. And in this work breakdown structure, you can see that there are different phases of the project. So there are different things that you need to put together. If you are studying a project management course, they will just tell you about project management lifecycle, which is like for cloud projects now, it's analyze and prepare, plan and design, configure and build, validate and test, transition and go live, sustain and realize. Those are the 6 different phases of a project. In regular waterfall project management, there's initiation part of the project, there's planning, there's execution, monitoring and control, and then closing of the project. Those are the phases. Every time you are managing a project, you must be in one of those phases in that project. But there's still so many other things to consider when it comes to project management. We have knowledge areas. In cloud projects, there are, the project management plan and delivery approach is a knowledge area. How are you going to plan and deliver these projects? It's a whole knowledge area that's in every single phase of the project. You must have key considerations. You also have organizational change and communication management. The organization is undergoing an entire change. You have to be sure they are ready for change. You have to prepare them for the change. They are working. These are people that are a big company that has thousands, hundreds, tens of thousands of employees. Every day are using software, and you're trying to change the software. You have to get them ready. You can't just change their software like that. You're going to disrupt the entire business. So the change management is a very big deal. A project implementation lead must have the ability to manage the organizational change. You must have the ability to manage the cloud provisioning and environments management. You must have the ability to manage cloud provisioning and the environments. You must have the ability to manage cloud security and identity user management. Align business goals with project objectives, cloud architecture, envisioning and planning. These are the knowledge areas for cloud. We have risk management, data and migration plan, implementation scope, implementation approach for different cloud solutions. There are so many different cloud solutions, and you must manage the implementation approach for them. It's different from the project management plan and delivery approach. The implementation, the actual technical implementation is quite different. So we'll go deeper into this shortly, but I thought I should bring that up. These are the knowledge areas. In regular project management, you have resource management, you have communication management, we have procurements, and there are so many different knowledge areas of projects, and that's mainly in construction projects. You're building a bridge. How are you going to? These are all the knowledge areas you must manage. There are the different areas you must manage. So those are knowledge areas. We've spoken about phases or life cycle of the project, which are phases. We're talking about knowledge areas. You have to incorporate these knowledge areas into your overall project planning and project management. We also have the constraints. If you see the iron triangle of the project management, they have scope, we have costs, and we have scope, cost, and time on the schedule. So if you want to change anything in the schedule, it's going to affect the other two, or one or two of the others. If you want to stretch out the time of the project, you have to consider the number of resources that are going to stay in the project, because it's going to cost you money. You are going to consider so many different things. If you want to change the schedule, if you want to make the work go faster, you have to add more resources, so it's going to affect the cost. Or you have to reduce the scope of the work. You have to reduce the amount of work you're going to do. You're supposed to build a road, and they say they need this road ready in the next 6 months instead of 8 months. You might be like, okay, we're supposed to plant trees, and on that project, we might have to not plant trees anymore, and that's going to enable us finish the road. So are you ready to cut down the tree idea? If they say yes, fine. But that's what something has to give. In cloud projects, different there are 6 different constraints. You also have resources apart from costs. You also have risk, which is a major one, and then you have quality, because the quality of the project is very similar to scope, but it's a little bit different. Same way resource is very similar to cost, but it's a little bit different. And then risk is just risk. Risk is on its own. So something must give. You have to incorporate that into your plan. You also have to incorporate a very basic project management mindset, which is input, tools and techniques, and outputs. Every task you want to do, every activity has to have an input. Where is the information for this particular task going to come from? How am I going to use that information to solve the client's need? And then what is going to come out of this activity that is going to solve that client's need, or going to lead to or add to the end goal of satisfying the client's need. So these are things that I thought I should mention before we go deeper into this. And in my previous recording, there are some things that are not yet included in this slide that I need to include. So I'm going to include that now. Um, I'm going to include that now. But most of all these images were taken from Oracle Project Management Cloud Practitioner course. They don't belong to me. I copied them, took a screenshot, and pasted them here. I did not bring this up. Okay, so the reason why I'm mentioning this is, let me see if I can go a little lower to see if there are other images I put here. Yeah, so these are the constraints: risk, schedule, resource, budget, which is cost, quality, scope. These are the phases of the project, 6 phases. These are the knowledge areas for cloud projects. And this is all of them joined together in one image. Okay, so there's something else that is very important, that if you've never actually handled a project, you will never consider it. So this is related to the scheduling of the project. And the reason why it's important is because we're running an entire portfolio or an entire program. Let's put it like this: a program. This is not just a project. Within this program or within this portfolio, you can say each of the different deliverables or deliveries is a project on its own. So for our Hairs Holding project, we're delivering a SaaS solution for Hairs. This is it should be handled like a distinct project under a program or under a portfolio of projects. You're handling a full re-architecture of a pass of maybe the supply chain solution, full re-architecture on the cloud. When I say full re-architecture, the software might have been just built as one software. It doesn't have the Oracle 3-tier software, and you need to make it a 3-tier software now for a software that is in use. Not talking about a software that they want to start using in the next 1 year. Everybody's using the banks. Everybody's using the supply chain software across different portfolio of companies under Here's Holdings. They are using the same software. Do you know the amount of work that is involved in that? That's different from the SaaS transformation. And then there's the IaaS project, which is lifting and shifting their financials from their data center to the cloud. Do you know what all those financial data entails? Millions upon millions, tens of millions of Nigerians and West Africans' banking details and transaction details and everything. If that gets lost as the implementation lead, do you know what is going to happen to you? It's a big deal. This is a big project. So put yourself in the shoes of the implementation lead. You cannot just handle the whole project and say, okay, today we're doing this, tomorrow we're doing that. There's a whole mindset that needs to be integrated into managing it as different projects. So now this is the portfolio. All the 3 different apps or the software that are moving to the cloud are 3 programs. Inside they have smaller mini projects. And there's a way you must approach the entire thing. It's bigger than just listing a list of activities to do. There's a big deal about it. I want to go into that now. We're not going deep into that. very, very, very shallow. But there are different approaches here. They have the big bang, the phase approach. There's one of them that is the one I'm going to really talk about the most, which is global design approach. There's no diagram for this, but I'm going to explain it. Now, in the work breakdown structure, there are different knowledge areas that are more of management, and then others that are more of technical. Okay, so like these two now, I'm going to color them differently. These two now, management is going to be gray, like this. So then the rest are technical. Okay, this one is management also, so it's going to be gray. Hope I'll get the same color gray, same shade of gray. And then we have the ones that are technical. They are not going to be in gray this time. So you have data management, implementation approach for cloud solution in scope. That's also more of management. And then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them here are technical. So the ones that are more of management. Okay, I have to make this bigger, but this is the entire thing. I'll just make it bigger so that you can see. So the ones that are more of management, those ones would, in the global design approach, would manage them as, because in cloud projects you have different CRPs, conference room pilots, where you sit down with the clients and go through the entire thing. And then for each of the different projects, you have their own separate conference room pilots. So the reason why this is very important, let me freeze this freeze this 2 rows. Okay, I've frozen down those rows. Let me freeze the columns, 2 columns. Um, yes, so the reason why it is important is because each different phase has so many different activities, and you need to pick from this list of activities, which is even limited. There are still many more activities that might, on when you're actually doing the project, you have to list even more. It's going to be so you can't exhaust it. I can't exhaust it in this my whole demonstration. But there are so many more activities that would be put into consideration when you're actually on the project that we're not going to talk about. But just imagine, just think about it. You cannot do every single activity for every single project. That's why you need to have a different CRP, conference room pilot, for each project. Okay. So from each conference room pilot for each project, you will now pick out the list of activities that are relevant. So that's the global design approach. However, there will be a general conference room pilot for the management knowledge areas like project management plan and delivery approach. You have one conference room pilot for almost all the projects where you know talk about the strategy, acceptance criteria. You can list all those things and talk about it. When it comes to technical matters, you can now go into deeper details in a different conference room pilot for a different project. That's a global delivery approach, and that is the main approach we'll focus on, because you cannot go into all of them. I'll still breeze through some other useful approaches. So for this particular project, and for this particular project now, you can see that in this one, there's a SaaS application that is being migrated here, and is ERP software. Now, for that particular project, you go through all 6 phases of the project separately: plan and design, configure and build, validate and test. All those things, you are doing them as a mini project. You are picking from the list of all the activities and managing all those phases for these projects. So when you're in the plan and design phase for the ERP software, maybe you've not started only the OCI lift and shift. You're also doing plan and design and analyze and prepare phase. But when you're at the transition and go live, you're going live with the SaaS software. At that point, you might have started the analyze and prepare for the HCM software. And then the past software, you started the plan and design. You've already started the planning and designing for that software. So each project has its own different phase now that you're running. This thing has to be put in your mind. So you don't just think about going into a project and managing every single project as analyze and prepare phase for all of them. So this is the same approach you have in the global design, but the difference between the global design now is that in that global design, For all the projects you're going to manage, for the management level things, you would have one conference room pilot for all those projects. How are you going to manage risk management? You are going to start with one CRP for all of them and then break each the technical part into different CRPs. You have multi-release projects. That's another complicated one. We're not really going deep into it. You can see cloud, can see rapid delivery and value. This is the modular based approach. Then we have the parallel tracking, because sometimes you might want to have, I don't really know this one. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know it. I can't know everything. I'm just an everyday regular project manager. I'm not Sakis Kekezian. So we also have parallel tracks for lift and shift and pass components. And those are some of the things that you must have in mind before you even say, okay, you want to go deeper into this course. Not every single project is going through every single phase at the same time. That being said, I prepared different activities. These are not, I didn't prepare them myself. I copied them from the Oracle Cloud Project Management Practitioner course. These are the activities that Oracle has listed in their standards that all these activities must be carried out. Okay, some are, the management ones are relevant for all projects. The technical ones are relevant for some projects, depending on what the project actually entails. So now on the left hand side here, you can see the high impact knowledge areas. Yeah, I put the, so there are so many different activities in each high impact knowledge area, and all these things now in the analyze and prepare phase of the project. You must go through all the knowledge in knowledge areas. I have a short name for the activity. I have a longer name or a scope of what the activity entails. The input to this activity. You remember what all the things I'm integrating into one thing, into one project. I'm integrating so many things into one project, and I put all those things down here. I'll put the attachments here so you can see all the knowledge areas, the constraints. I want you to know it too. The knowledge areas, the phases, the constraints, and and the inputs, outputs, and tools and techniques. I put everything together into this activity plan. So everything is being considered. Everything is being considered as far as you use these templates. Yeah, input, output, tools, and techniques. You can see the duration. I'm managing the schedule with this sheet. I'm managing start end date. I'm managing resources. Who is going to handle this task? Cost, because most of this is resource cost. Quality. What is the KPI that we need to know that this job has been done properly? This is very important for technical tasks. How would you know that this job has been completed properly? If it's something that, okay, the client at the end of the day, client is trying to, they say, okay, their app was lagging on the on premise, and that's why they are, they're sick of it. And you now move to the cloud, and at the end of the day, the app is slower. How are you going to pinpoint the problem? You don't even want to have that kind of problem in the first place. You want to incorporate the quality management into the plan, which is how to do it. Every task, know the KPI for that particular task. Check the pre and post. What was it like? What was the speed of this thing, or what was the capacity of this database, the speed of the compute, the the storage capacity and everything? You usually know the KPI before and after your implementation in the test environment and in the development environment and all. The risk, each task has a risk. You need to have a risk register for each task. As you are putting the task, this is the template that would help you out. I've crafted this. Some top project managers will have more to add. I am an intermediate project manager, and this is what I've created. Then you have some notes, current status and notes. So this will help you manage everything end to end. And you are considering every single, all these things that are in project management, you are considering them at the same time. This is a recipe for success. So you can see that I've gone through all the different knowledge areas, but I cannot go through each of the activities because in class, in this particular class, I want us to, I think there's a mistake in here somewhere. But in this particular class, I want us to be able to, I made a mistake in here somewhere, but I'll sort it out later. Yeah. So in this particular class, I want us to look at the I made a summary table here, and this summary table is just going to help us, get over this recording quickly because I don't want to spend hours upon hours on this recording. I want for each phase in each of the knowledge areas, I want us to pay particular attention on what should be achieved in that phase. So as far as maybe cloud user and identity management, cloud security, identity and user management, as far as that whole knowledge area is concerned, you and the security experts are working and they're talking. And at the plan and design phase, there's a place where you should be in that project at the plan and design phase. If you're not yet there, it means that the plan and design phase of that means you and the security expert needs to have a conversation, serious conversation. Why are we not here yet? So I'm just going to pick this one for example now and say, okay, now at this particular point, now the priority is to design and implement a robust and comprehensive security framework for the entire project by developing a security strategy, detailing data protection policies, defining granular access controls, and designing a secure deployment topology based on Oracle's Gen 2 cloud services. So at that point in the project, you know that you should be able to, overall, as a project manager, you should know that you should be able to have done this. You have gotten to this point. There are different steps that will lead you to get to that particular point. And the details are in here. I took time to put those details out here. You can develop security strategy, look at the details of what that it means, protect, plan sensitive data protection, note service entitlement considerations, conduct crude analysis, look at everything, the inputs, the output of the crude analysis. You can see the resource that should handle it, the risk associated, the quality, the KPI, and some other notes will be in that particular place. You identify the past components like security, design, enhance deployment topology, design deployment and integration architecture. You plan security access rules, plan past the deployment and configuration, consider OCI security best practices. These are all the different steps you must take in order to be at the point where you have you have designed and implemented a robust and comprehensive security framework for the entire project. So unfortunately, I will not be able to go through all the list of all those things, but I want to go through this table today. Okay. And then there's another part of this presentation. Now, according to Oracle project management standards, there are some artifacts and deliverables that will be delivered at each of these places. Some of them were not listed because they are it's going to be like redundant. So when like project management plan and delivery approach, when you already have a project master plan, at this point you're supposed to have a project master plan, project charter, or this or that. So it's redundant for me to now in my document now place the project master plan there or the project charter there. So it's redundant as it's not listed. Doesn't mean that each of these will not have an output. But basically, I have another sheet here which is called results. And inside there is about the project deliverables and artifacts for each of the phases. So for the analyze and prepare phase, some of the deliverables are not going to be listed here in many of the phases. So bear with me. It doesn't mean that there's no deliverable. I've said that like 3 times. I don't want to say it again. It doesn't mean there's no deliverable. It just means that the deliverable is redundant. They don't need to put it there again. So by the time I'm done with the analyze and prepare phase, I'll go through all the deliverables. I don't want to be going back and forth so much. But let's go through the analyze and prepare phase now for each of the knowledge areas. So as far as project management plan and delivery approach is concerned, the priority achievement is to establish a comprehensive project foundation by defining the scope, the approach, and project management plan, ensuring all stakeholders are aligned and ready for execution. When you say all stakeholders here, you're talking about your internal team. How are you going to approach this project? At this point in time, that's where in our last document, we're talking about building the business plan and gathering a lot of information to create a project charter. And uh, this is how you do that. So we have all those documents there, and those are the things that are involved in this particular phase of the project, because it's just analyzing and preparing for the project. So this is mostly pre-charter or pre-project management plan period. So just around where you've gotten the business case and you are creating the charter, these are all the things you are doing. So, or let's just put it like that. Yes, you've gotten the charter and you're trying to create a plan. So you can say, I can, if I have space to type something, I can say pre-charter, just for the sake of this presentation. Then, as far as organizational change and communication management is concerned, the priority achievement for this second HICA is to prepare the organization and its people for upcoming changes by assessing their readiness, aligning on the project vision and benefits, and developing a comprehensive change management and communication plan. So this is mainly about the new organization you're working in, with their high-level management, just assessing their readiness for change, and seeing and aligning the vision of the project. Now we have cloud provisioning and environments. So as far as that's concerned, the priority is to ensure that all cloud environments are correctly provisioned, configured, and managed according to the project technical security and the project technical and security management requirements, with clear rules, communication, and a detailed plan for all environment related activities integrated into the project schedule. So I'm going to delete this pre-charter because it's not pre-charter. This is after the charter has been signed and the project is on the way. That's when you're going to do all this. So pre-charter is when project has not yet been signed off. So you cannot be doing all this. Cloud security and identity user management, as far as that's concerned, the priority achievement for this side is to establish a secure and compliant cloud environment by designing a comprehensive security architecture, defining user management strategies, ensuring all security policies and services align with the organization's requirements and best practices. When you want to align business goals with project objectives, you know that your priority is to establish a strong and unified project direction by transitioning from the sales phase, deeply analyzing the project business plan, business and the clients. Let me change this to analyzing the client's business pain points, strategic goals, and defining smart project objectives that are directly linked to the business outcome and aligned with Oracle success plans. Then architecture, and as far as architecture and envisioning is concerned, envisioning and also cloud planning. So cloud architecture, cloud envisioning, and then cloud planning. As far as that's concerned, you are supposed to establish a comprehensive and approved technical blueprint keyword for strong cloud solution. For the cloud solution, by aligning the strategy with the architecture, designing a detailed deployment and solution architecture, and ensuring that the organization has the capabilities to manage it post-implementation. Then implementation approach. So here you're supposed to define and prepare the specific implementation strategies, architecture, and environments for the project's various cloud solutions to ensure standardized and efficient and well-aligned execution. Now for data management and migration plan, you must establish a comprehensive and realistic data management and migration plan by defining the scope and strategy, profiling the data, determining the technical approach for transfer and security, and identifying all dependencies to ensure a successful and well-governed data migration. So for cloud risk and issue management, you're supposed to the priority is that you're supposed to establish a robust risk and issue management framework for the cloud project, which includes preparing a risk register, prioritizing cloud-specific risk, defining clear risk responses, and setting up an effective support structure with Oracle to ensure proactive problem solving and issue resolution. Now, in the training and knowledge area, in this analyze and prepare phase, you're supposed to establish a comprehensive training and knowledge transfer strategy and plan by conducting a thorough needs analysis and then advising on and orienting the customer to the available Oracle training resources to ensure that the customer's team is prepared to efficiently use and manage the new cloud solution. So there's a project I worked on one at that time, and we're delivering a data center to a government client. And it was in the analyze and prepare phase that we realized that we need to get a professional trainer to come aboard and train these people comprehensively on what it's all about and how to use this data center and all the services in our project. They had to prepare the visa for the guy, clear his schedule, bring him all the way from Ecuador to Nigeria, lodge him in a hotel, prepare the client to prepare the classroom, everything. It was the analyze and prepare phase that we had to prepare all that. So if your mind as a lead is that you need these people to get the best out of this solution, you need to consider this. I'm using this one as a particularly a place I want to hammer on. I'm being particular about this. My English is terrible. I'm being particular about this because from the beginning, you need to consider all these things going to the end. That you will be reiterating it different in the different phases and knowing what you should have achieved by this time as far as knowledge and transfer this thing is concerned. Knowledge and transfer strategy. It's not in the plan and design phase that you now start thinking, oh, I think we should do this. No. At that point, you will now be developing a clear training structure when the guy is maybe has applied for his visa and you've arranged for the classroom, you've told the client they are trying to work on a schedule on what particular days they will be available, what time of the day, how to clear their own other plans for that training. You know, at that point, the trainer is there preparing a detailed presentation that he's going to give them, how he's going to make them understand, tailoring it to the Nigerian audience. You see, so these are all the things that we need to go through, one step at a time. Now we're in the sustainment and adoption plan. We need to establish a clear and comprehensive post-go live support framework for formally agreeing on the scope, duration, and SLAs of sustainment, defining incident management processes, and orienting the customer on Oracle's cloud support and adoption tools to ensure smooth transition and long-term operation. Continuous testing strategy and plan. We are supposed to establish a robust and comprehensive testing framework for defining clear entrance and exit criteria for all the test phases, determining initial timelines, and proactively assessing the impact of patching cycles on the test schedule to ensure the quality and stability of the cloud solution. Okay, so that's quite clear. So for the analyze and prepare phase, Oracle has said, okay, there are some deliverables that must be out by this time. Not so many, because they're just analyzing and preparing. And most of the deliverables are already, as far as the project manager is concerned, they're already in the project management plan, which we have already talked about in the previous time. So almost everything this is the point where almost the entire project management plan is going to be prepared. So the one big deliverable in the analyze and prepare phase is the project management plan. In addition to that, we have for the as far as implementation is concerned, we have software release plan, high level software release plan. This is what it's going to look like. You have the different software ID, the scope, features, the target components, target environments, release date, the status, dependencies that must be prepared that will be released at that point in time. Then we have a build dash jobs package source code. This is technical. I don't know much about this. I'm not going to lie. You have the field of the details of what is this. Okay, this refers to an automated process to compile, test, and package your source code into deployable artifacts. So this is something that you need to bring out. Client might say they want to see the source code and then they want to see your package and they want to see this thing. Now, how do you prepare it? With CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous delivery tools. What are those tools? OCI, DevOps, build pipeline, Jenkins, GitLab, CI/CD. Your job is also to have this kind of table ready and put this information down or get this table from the architects. Okay. Then deployment and environments. I don't know what this is, but let me see. Okay, so all these are under this implementation approach for cloud apps and extension development. So this is for like SaaS solution, extension of your on-prem for with SaaS solutions, or total migration. These are the things that you must have at hand at the end. This document is going to be attached, so you can go through it and look at it. So, okay, so deployment and environments. Look at the different environments. We have development environment, test environment, UAT environment, user acceptance testing, and then production environment. I know of dev, test, and prod. UAT and test, I think both of them are still like bracketed together, but this is like internal testing bracketed. This is like internal testing, and this is customer actually user testing the whole thing with maybe an external testing expert that'll test the entire thing before they go live. So these are the different environments. It's showing the couples, the key components, the access restrictions, the automation tools and methods, etc. And you need to have a list of issues so far that you've prepared. And your agile, if you must have prepared all this, your agile board, sprint, burn down charts, dashboard. If you've ever been on the project, even if you're not the lead, you must know that they have all these kind of boards, you know. And it's so nice. Using this thing is so good. Like the first time I actually used the Kanban board, I used this on Excel actually, not even on the actual board or a software, just on Excel. I had different, it was Mr. Abdulaziz, one of my mentors, that taught me how to use this. I know about this, I've read about it, but I've never actually used it on a project. Moving activities or different tasks from one bucket to another is so logically important. You know that this bucket of tasks, maybe if you see anyone there at this phase of the project, you know there's an issue. So you have to be moving each of them through buckets, and your end goal is to move every single task or every single unit to the end from starts from, let me say, yes, from start to end. And then there are different areas, like there's tests, there's dev, there's production. You're moving them from different to the product is finished. So if there's any activity that is here, you should know that there's an issue, and under that activity it should have a table. What is the issue? You should list out the issue. Who is responsible? When is the timeline for it to be resolved? So all these things are so important that you must have one of these. It's something that must be in existence at this point of the project. That's why it's here. Then your sprints schedule. How are you going to run in your sprints? Maybe 1 or 2 weeks. For software development and all this, you know you must have sprints. You must not. It's not something that you take a whole month. These are some activities you need to achieve in the next 1 or 2 weeks. Let's burn them down. And you also have the burn down charts. These are basic project management tools. I'm not going to explain them. You must have a dashboard. Every project must have a dashboard like this that at a high level shows you all the tasks. So once you put all your activities in project management software, not Excel like I'm showing you here, but in an actual project management software, you can easily create a Gantt chart, you can easily create a histogram, a pie chart, and the rest, and have a dashboard like this. This is, forget that it's looking fancy. It's not so complicated to create a dashboard. Okay, you can use your Jira, your Deliverables, your Confluence, Rally. You can use Zoho projects. You can use we used to use ISDP and different things to show dashboards, POP. So documentation in Wiki. This is just Wiki is just a central knowledge repository that is very easily searchable, and it's collaborative. You can use Wiki tool. So it's mainly for software developers. They just store information there very basically, so that everybody can have access to it. In my opinion, I can just use SharePoint or something like that. Yeah, so there's a reason why these guys are using this. Maybe that's their own tool. I really don't know. Can't say. Okay, so implementation approach for OCI move and improve. You know already, I explained this to you earlier. Cloud migration, there's move and improve, there's extension. I'll keep repeating it and repeating it. For the SaaS solutions, you can either have a total transformation from on-premise to cloud, or you can extend your on-premise and add some cloud solutions, which is an extension. Those are SaaS solutions. For your PaaS, you can re-architect the entire thing on the cloud. They have two different ones. They call them, I think, rehosting. It's basically re-architecting your solution. That's what PaaS is all about. You have a solution, you want to rebuild it on the cloud. That's what pass. You're adding different, you're using maybe Oracle's database service, you're using Oracle's platform services. You want to build the app, you want to containerize your app, different containers for one application. If you didn't have it on the premise, you want to do it now on cloud. So you have to do all those things. That's past solution, different getting different platform solutions. You are not really bothered about the underlying uh, IaaS as infrastructure. You're not really bothered about that. You're getting all those things from them. When I say the infrastructure, I mean virtualization, the storage, the compute. You're getting it from them. You're also getting the operating system from them. Not bothered about that. Now you're now getting containers and choosing which containers you want to use on top of that operating system. That's when you're not looking at past solutions. And then move and improve. This is now OCI move and improve. Your own is you don't want to have any business with the actual infrastructure. You just want them to give you compute. You select some compute, select some storage, and select the network. Put everything on it. The operating system is yours. You're the one managing the entire operating system, managing the virtualization and all those things. So there are even different ways to choose. You can put everything on one compute instance, or you can put it on different compute instances, But this is for OCI move and improve when you're getting infrastructure services only from Oracle. This is these are the outputs or deliverables I must have at that time. Inventory of migratable assets. These are the if this is the inventory of migratable assets, I'll have the module, current environment, technical information, the type, and all that. Then workload nature and granularity and match. You must have that. You have the attachment. You can go into it. There's no need going into it in this course. Acceptable downtime. Uh, in telecommunications, we used to have one thing they call outage approval. Because if you want service to go down, you must have the outage approval. So for every app now, even your software, your bank software now, they might tell you for a month ahead that between these hours they are going to have routine maintenance, so the app is not going to be working. They will tell you. So this is it now. This is the planning for that message, that outage. You must get outage approval. So you must have that kind of thing now in the plan and delivery, acceptable downtime. You must have it in the plan and delivery and plan and in the analyze and prepare phase. Dependency matrix and integrations, you must have all that. Uh, Resource sharing, because you have different resources. So the purpose is to document how cloud resources will be shared or segregated across different environments and potentially different models, optimizing cost and performance while maintaining isolation. Okay. Uh, Cloud resources, the cloud resources are now the storage, the network, the compute, storage and compute mainly, not network, storage and compute. Then we have migration strategy. You have the target bill of materials. Um, these are so you need to know the component, the service, unit counts, region, availability, domain, configuration, purpose. You have to have all these things. Then target and immediate architectures, project scope of work. Then you also have data migration and data management and migration plan, continuous testing strategy and plan. You must have project management plan, draft strategy. These are the things that you've already prepared in your project management plan. Uh, so I also created some extras here that are not according to Oracle. Because for me, I said, okay, I think I should have this kind of thing: organizational change and impact assessment reports. You should have like a report like this: area of impact, specific element affected, description of change impacts, severity affected stakeholder groups, migration strategy. It's because new software that you want to integrate and you want to move to the cloud. All the guys that have been maintaining the physical data center there, the data center guys, when I used to work there, they are very diligent employees that have families that are dependent. They've been working at that data center for the past 5, 10 years. And now you're moving to the cloud. It's going to have an impact on them. And as they are your stakeholders in this game, you need to have an impact assessment of them first, because they might delay the work. I've been on a project before where we wanted to do that kind of migration, and every time we needed access, to the site. Those guys gave us hell. Real life thing. They know they have nothing to lose anymore. They're about to maybe lose their jobs and maybe there's no plan for them. So you need to know how to manage these things. There's a risk there. So I'm telling you from my experience how it almost damaged the project we're working on. And we had to, on the job bring out a solution. It should not be on the while it's happening. Before it happens, have that change impact assessment. Have it very important. Can scatter the entire project. Yeah, I scream that. So you know how important it is. Yes, you validate your cloud provisioning reports. So these are some extras. Let's go through them. You must have these reports. So on the project management software like Zoho software, if you click on your projects, all your different projects under your different programs and inside your portfolio can be represented as a single bar in a Gantt chart. If you click on that bar, you're opening the entire project. And when you open the entire project, you have all the different activities. And inside all those activities, there's space for attachments. So if you click on that activity, you will see attachments, related attachments. Inside that related attachment, you might just have one link to an Excel sheet or a doc or a a sheet, and it's showing you this kind of sheets there now. Anybody on the project that wants to see the validated cloud provisioning reports will go to that project, go to the activity, click on it, and see it. You can send that person the link to that thing, and you will see everything. That's how you manage. You must have such reports if it's important. That's your job as a project manager. You're not validating the cloud environment, but the guy that's validated the cloud environment, as told you has validated it, you ask for this table, you give him the table of the necessary information you need. You guys fill it up, or he fills it up, or you ask your junior project manager to ensure that he fills it up. You pick it, put it inside there. That is the that is what you use to cover yourself if there's a problem. No, let's not say cover yourself because you are responsible for the fulfillment. But if there's ever a problem, you use it and say, okay, see, I got this information from my cloud provisioning and security manager guy, and this is the information he gave me. I marked this completed because he assured me that everything was done. We tested. This is the development phase now. So now if you're in the test phase and you want to go back, this is what you use. You don't just hear that it has been done and click it. Every single task has a KPI that you use, and you put an attachment, even if it's just a screenshot, as proof that it has been done. In the next phase, you go back and see what was done, when it was done, who did it, everything. That is project management. Now you're using every single thing you have gathered in the entire project management, in the entire project management theoretical class, and you're executing it now. The project management software. You must use a project management software. Zoho, Trello, Monday.com, all those ones, they're all good software. I cannot tell you which one is the best. Microsoft projects mainly for construction project. This is software project. You need to use software project management software. Software project management software. Okay. All these things must be inside there. I'll even open my Zoho project just so that you see what what the thing is like. So let it load up while we're doing this. So these are the things you must know as a project manager, as an implementation lead. These are the things you absolutely must know. If not, you dare not call yourself PMP. You are not PMP. You're not project management certified. If you are a PMP, you must be able to manage a project like this end to end, end to end. I'm saying that in an Egyptian accent. So security scenario reports. We don't need to go. That's where you have a checklist and see what's it's about. Have a conceptual idea of what it's about. When the day of the project comes, you actually need to use this. Identify security gaps. You know these things. High level custom this and that. So no, I don't want to spend the whole day on analyze and prepare. I still have some way to go. The plan and design phase now. So if you are listening to this, you already know where I'm going with this. The exact same thing I did with analyze and prepare, I'm going to do plan and design. If you want to end this video now, honestly, and don't bore yourself, You can just go through the sheets, look at each of the different activities in the plan and design phase, understand the entire mindset, look at the different deliverables that are involved, and then just just use that as just use that to understand where I'm going with this. Okay. But I personally on this video I'll go through all of them one after the other. I drank a lot of coffee, so I have a lot of energy. Yes. So okay, open the project management software. Is this still here? Okay. So this is not by any stretch of the imagination a good project management example, but I just have to show you something now. Let me use this project. So it's just an example. You can see that each of the tasks, you can see the project has so many different tasks under different areas. So this is reasonably well managed by one lady. And then you can click on the projects. So many of them are still in progress. It's just because of one or two reasons. That's why it's like this. But you can see that you can have subtask documents, forum dependencies, status timeline issues, activity stream. You can see that you can have a place where you type in a lot of information. You can attach so many different documents to this particular task. There's a lot you can do with each task. Every single one of those, every single one of these things on the heading of this plan and design now. Every single one of these columns, the information. Uh, yes, every single one of these, the inputs, the output. First of all, the scope, the input, output, duration, start date. You don't need to manage this in an Excel sheet like this. I'm using it for this. Just as a PM, so you might need to have a sheet like this just for conceptual process. So everything can be in one table. But in actuality, when you're actually managing the project and the whole team is there, it will be inside a software like this. All those things, the inputs, the output, the subtasks, the comments, the dependencies, the issues, every single thing associated with that task is going to be inside here, just as it is conceptually on that table. The owner can see the hours, the status, the due date, the priority. There's so much more you can add. You can do almost anything you want. I thought I should show that. This tab is making my laptop a little bit slower, so I'm going to close it. And that's confidential information, by the way. Confidential. Yeah, so now we're in the plan and design phase. We'll go back to the WBS and we'll go to the summary table. So in the plan and design phase, now all our projects are making headway. What should we have achieved in the project management plan and delivery approach? So the priority here is to formalize the project management strategy and plan. Is to formalize keyword by detailing the implementation approach, defining all activities and deliverables, establishing a detailed schedule, and securing stakeholder sign-off to ensure a clear and approved roadmap for execution. Stakeholder sign-off, important. After you've developed the project management plan, stakeholders will sign off to it. They're okay with it. It might not be an actual signature. It might be an email. Oh, we are okay with this. Thank you. Let there be a record of them being okay with your migration plan and this and that. Organizational change management. You're talking about integrating. The priority is to prepare the organization for cloud, communicating the benefits of the new system, establishing a feedback mechanism, and fostering a positive and receptive organizational change climate. For this one, most of the phases are going to be repetitive. You have to go into the different tasks and see what you actually want you to do, and then look at the deliverables and the artifacts that you must have produced, which we'll go into shortly. There might not be many deliverables, but one thing I'm seeing here now is establishing a feedback mechanism. How are they going to be giving you information? That what channels of feedback are you going to have? You cannot be working in isolation. You might be in your office in Toronto, and then client is in their office in Montreal. How are you going to be communicating with the clients and getting that information? Very important. The third one here is to ensure the cloud environment is fully provisioned, uh, ready for project activities by integrating all environments, because you have different cloud environments. Dev, test, prod for each of the products. Okay, so You have to also look at cutover and disaster recovery strategies while verifying that the infrastructure meets project technical specifications. Okay, and if I have chance, I might just put a link to the migration technical migration uh, course we walk through, where they are just showing you how they are creating an environment. What is an environment? That's where you are going to migrate it to. You want to build a house. As you are planning for the with the architect, there must also be a place where you are clearing the land and putting in some some things underground before you can now say you want to build a house. So that's environment management. So in cloud security and identity, very important, cloud security and identity and user management and all. So we need to design and implement a robust and comprehensive security framework for the entire project by developing a security strategy, detailing data protection policies, defining granular access controls, and designing a secure deployment topology based on Oracle's Gen 2 cloud services. For aligning business goals, you see here is very similar. Just there are different activities that you must use to ensure that the goal of your business is aligned with the project goal. You have to be checking. You have to be checking the goals of the project of Hares Holdings. What do they want to be? They want to be the standout real estate and financial company, and you are delivering a software for them. What and what are going to be? You have to be refining it. Sit down, go for a walk, sit at the park. Just imagine what it's like to use a world class, the best software out there. What little details do you need? How smooth should the app be? How easy should be unlocking? Do you know those kind of things? This is the company's goal. That is what they're thinking. Also, the highest management is thinking about. They're not thinking about one particular code. You should immerse yourself in that client's mindset, not in the technical details. That is, they have the technical guys doing all that. You are the lead. You are the implementation lead. Now, the cloud architecture, envisioning and planning, cloud architecture. This is a little bit different from environment management because they're talking about the architecture. This is very technical. Sorry, I have so let's see. So creating a detailed and executable technical blueprint for the entire cloud solution by designing the end-to-end business and application architecture, developing a reference technology roadmap, creating detailed deployment and integration catalogs, and finalizing the infrastructure, network, and security architecture sign-off. Don't worry. In the next sheet, in my result sheet, you'll see a template through which you can achieve this. Because now you're designing you're saying, oh, deploying a roadmap. What is a reference technology roadmap? I'm not sure I have that exact one in the result, but I mean, you should now with Gemini and ChatGPT, you can ask it to show you what a reference technology roadmap template should look like. You are more interested in ensuring that there is one and confirming that there is one than actually knowing how to build one. That's your priority as the lead. Now, here again in the implementation approach, there's so many different implementation approach for so many different solutions that you're using, but at this point, you must define and execute a detailed design implementation and design for all cloud solution components by leveraging Oracle MVPs and a comprehensive analysis and infrastructure plan to ensure a cohesive and well-documented solution. For data migration at this point, like all you're thinking about is the actual migration of the data now. Because that a software has the client tier, the one that the client is seeing on the front. They have the architecture tier, the one that is making this client tier possible. And then they have the database tier. It's information you're looking at. Cloud, all this software, everything is about information. That database tier. Now you're talking about data migration. It's a different thing from talking about the software. You're talking about the database. During the plan and design phase, this is where your mind should be. You're talking about a comprehensive data management and migration plan by conducting a data sample review. How do you conduct a data sample review? I've put it in the next document, results. It will show you What is a data sample review? How do you can just use Gemini or ChatGPT. How do you conduct a data sample review? What tools and technique do you use to conduct it? What table can I use? So they'll say, okay, this is the this is what you should check on a checklist and understand all the data, like data samples. See, use Gemini, check the next sheet. Don't worry, just know that you should conduct a data sample review. Oton. Cloud risk and issue management. Um, you know you must have stakeholder agreement on mitigation plans, because there are mitigation plans for risks. If there's this challenge, okay, if there's the challenge of uh, the the security at the data center refusing us access because they know they have a feeling that their contract might be off. See, this is every country. Don't think about it like a perfect scenario that everybody is very professional, like a professional footballer or something. Some security guards are in-house, especially if you're managing a project in a second or third world country. They would frustrate you. You get to the gate, they don't pick up the phone, they don't do this, they know they are losing their jobs anyways. It might be a risk. I'm not saying this because I want anybody to lose their jobs. We know things that changes come. If people are not adapting to change or trying to grow with the change, unfortunately they will be left behind. Unfortunately. That's why everybody should always trying to skill up, skill up, skill up, skill up, upskill, 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 say it 3 times so it should be balanced. So they might want to frustrate you. You need to have a mitigation plan for this. How are you going to solve this problem when it comes up? As a project lead, you should dedicate out some time in your schedule as you're working to focus on creating a plan for this, while the technical guys are also doing their technical work and configuring. You're not going to be configuring it with them. You are not going to be doing the configuration with them. There's a time you sit down Tuesday afternoon by 12 to 3, you block out time to create a cloud issue management. This thing you're working on it. That's what you're doing right now. Anybody comes, you say you're busy because you're working on your issue and risk management, brainstorming with your 2 or 3 of your team members. You have the for this, inside my plan and design, I will show you. I'll go there now, cloud and issue and risk issue management. Let me just go there for the purpose of this. It's purple. Put different colors so you know. So what do you do? What do you do to mitigate at that point in time? You need to update the risk register. You need to update and review the issue log weekly. Include risk issues in communication. Obtain risk response agreements. Execute approved risk response. Review, prioritize, and engage SR engage Oracle. Report showstopper issues. Now, for each of these, where do you get information from to do this? Risk register, this and that. How do you actually execute it? Risk work assessment workshop. That's what I was just saying now, that you and 2 of your 3 guys with maybe the security chief that is the most responsible, and then this and that. You guys will sit together and say, okay, this how are we going to solve this problem? This is a problem, Mr. Security Chief, Mr. Here's Holdings. This is one of the problems that I believe we'll face. How are we going to solve this? You guys will brainstorm. You can see here they say risk assessment workshop, risk analysis tools. You can go and Google what the risk analysis tool is. And prioritization matrix, review meetings. What is coming out of that meeting? That meeting cannot just hold and you say, okay, we held the meeting. Okay, yes, the meeting has finished. Okay, what came out of the meeting? This is it. Updated risk register, risk assessment report, prioritize risk list. What is a risk assessment report? I have it in my sheet here. I wrote results. You see risk assessment report there clearly. Risk assessment report. What should be inside the risk assessment report? On the activity in the cloud software, you put the report there in a sheet, a link to a doc. Use links, use docs. These are advanced things now. We're in 2025. Put that link there. When somebody goes there, they'll see the risk assessment report and the prioritized risk list. You can go back and modify it. It will modify it there, so you don't have to go to that particular sheet. That's the beauty of this. In your own Excel, your personal Excel, inside here now, inside this particular yellow shaded place, you can link it. You can just do like this. You can just do this and also put link there, insert link to that risk assessment reports. And as you update it, it's a weekly thing maybe you're working on, or as you refresh the project, you're going through different phases again, you update it. That's why they say update risk register. There's already a risk register. You put the link there. You go and click, oh, I've updated this on my risk register. Anytime, anywhere in the project, they want to see that risk register is updated. It must be done. For this particular task, you have the duration. You have when you should start it and finish it. You should not fail. If you have to fail, you have to put it in your notes here that, oh, Mr. Lagbaja was not available that day. That's why we did not do it. It was shifted to so and so day. There should be notes. In the software, I showed you in the software, there's a place for notes. You type it in. If it's not you, Mr. Okikiola will put it there that I was not available on this particular day. This is the lead project manager's job. Well, as you are doing this, as you are doing this job, somebody is there managing cloud security and identity management thing. In the evening, you are having a meeting, huddle. You are supposed to do this today. Have you done it? Yes, no, why? You are supposed to do this. Have you done it? Yes, no, why? You are updating your tracker every day on the project management software. This is project management. This is project management, end to end. I wish I had some hot tea here because my throat is burning up. So let's see if we can finish this today. We have a lot to go through. I'll start breezing through it shortly. Let me just clear my throat 1 second. Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to irk you by making you hear that. Yeah, so knowledge transfer strategy. You're going to be working on that. The list of things to do is also there. Your sustainable abduction plan, your cloud testing, and strategy. Look at it. Read it here. Read it now. I can't. My mouth is paining me. I can't say it again. So these are the results. These are the things that will come out. In my place, they say, there's a saying. They say, nothing come out. That's when you finish doing something and then there's no end result. They say nothing come out. That should not be the case in your project. Something must come out. So these are the things that will come out in as far as project management plan and delivery approach are concerned or is concerned. You can scroll through it. You can see that each of the tasks you have some small template like this that you just put there. Activity, this and that. Strategy plan. You have one small document that you put there when you're doing your checklisting. You know, your junior project managers will help you get this thing with the actual guys doing the task. You're high level. You're high level, almost C level as an implementation lead. So you need to focus on the high level things. High level solution architecture documents. You have your high level cloud architecture, integration, strategy and plan. So this is ChatGPT, this is Gemini that just manufactured most of these things for me. It's not like I typed it myself, but just give you an idea of what should be the thing that come out. I say waiting come out, nothing come out. This something come out. This is it. Something like this. Your DevOps setup. If I don't put something now, okay, what do you imagine is going to be down there now? Think about it. It's okay, you have a DevOps setup. Okay, to establish the tools, the processes and practices for continuous integration and delivery. Okay, how do you establish that? To define CI/CD pipelines, implement infrastructure as code, IAC, establish version control, configuration, integrate automation side. What tools do you use to do this? How do you do this? Somebody might be thinking, how do you do this? Git. These are the tools. OCI DevOps service, Terraform. What would it look like? You can just imagine what was DevOps setup table, sample table look like. Look at it here. Simple. That's it. Should look like this. That's a small table. You put DevOps area, source control, CI/CD pipeline, infrastructure as code, configuration management, logic. And okay, what tools am I going to use to do source control? Git, as GitLab, GitHub. Also, am I going to use to do CI/CD pipeline, OCI DevOps service, this and that? Look at it here. What's the purpose? Usage context. That's a simple table like this. Some people don't know anything about this project and they're just watching. They just go to that activity and look at this. These are the tools you're going to use. This is this. This is that. You have a whole team of project managers with you. Some of them are even interns. Just show them these templates. Everybody is smart now with Gemini and ChatGPT. They just go and look it up and get the table for you. Fine. you know what you're going to use. Because the technical guys are also very smart people that are working with. Fine, they know if they work on it, everything will be okay. Project will be delivered. Yeah, so cloud extension apps. Just scroll through this. You have the extension there. Agile sprint structure, sample sprint backlog. You have all these things there. I don't want to take too long on this. So the main thing is to know where you should be as a whole at the end of the analyze and prepare phase for each of the knowledge areas. So we'll go to configure and build. Now you're actually configuring and building the thing in the dev environment. There's a development environment, there's a testing environment, and there's a production environment. So now you are configuring it in the dev environment. Later you test it in the test environment, then you now put in the production environment. So these are the three different areas. So project management plan and this, is still basically the same thing at this point in time. Everything has been signed off, and everything is signed off. Communication change management. Now for that, now you're configuring and you're building. So you must you must be executing a change management plan uh, 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 for the impacted roles. Maybe there are security. There are sorry, I keep using security. There are maintenance engineers that have been working in the data center since, and they're about to start maintaining some other thing. You need to have some communication management plan for them. Um, Cloud provision and everything. This one you work with the clients very strongly. The clients must have their own project managers who are strong project managers end to end that will be managing these projects. In addition to you, you are working with that main project manager. Every day you see him for the duration of the project, he's going to be your partner. Then you have your cloud envisioning and cloud projects provision and envisioning management. This is where your mind should be. This is what you should have achieved at this phase. Priorities to ensure the cloud environment is fully configured and the operational for the configure and build phase by verifying all management activities, creating and documenting all needed instances according to the design, and proactively monitoring resource consumption and maintain stability and performance. You have identity and security management. Many of these things now are now seeming repetitive, but when you look at the outputs of the outputs, you will now see the difference. So what we'll do is that you have to. I will not go through all these things, unfortunately. I thought I would. I was trying to go through all of them, but my throat hurts, and we're just in the third in the configure and build. I'm now thinking, should I do half of this video now or half later, or should I just call it a wrap and then give you the link to go through it later on yourself? So I think what I'll do is maybe I'll skip to the transition and go live. So sorry. I'll skip to the transition and go live phase, which is most important. So when you are transitioning and going live, here you must um transition and go live and future project success by formally closing out the current project, handing over all deliverables and documentation, and capturing lessons learned for future initiatives. That's what should be prioritized at that point in time. For organizational change is to ensure a successful go live and positive user adoption, and executing a detailed go live communication plan, celebrating project success, and beginning to monitor system usage to provide ongoing support throughout the network of change. So now everything has been built, everything has been tested, everything is working fine. As far as organizational project management is concerned, it's going to be done during the same period. If this whole transition is going to happen in 2 months, during those 2 months, that are the things you do. It's not before you actually go live. So as you are going live, as you are moving into the production environment, after the outage now, the new app is being used. People have started using it. These are the things you do. In order to do that, you need to go to the list of activities. You need to go to the list of activities. Just so activities I won't. Oh, sorry. Organizational change, yeah. Then you need to prepare and execute a detailed communication for Grow Life. How do you do it? What's the output? Everything is inside the sheets here. Go through it. Start monitoring and assessment of system adoption and usage. Prepare Go Live celebration. Align with partner. You know, train the trainer. This. Look at everything. All the details are here. How do you ensure that you've done that properly? What would possibly go wrong? Everything is there. I'll go through this. And then what I'm going to do now to ensure that we all understand what's going on is that I'm going to either now or in the future, maybe now, I'm going to put a link for the step by step, like Oracle. Some people on the internet have actually put a step by step migration, a migration video. They've done the migration of maybe a small sample data from a small sample app to an on-prem thing, and then they put it online. I'm going to try and put those videos or a link to those videos, like some information about those videos here, so that if you want to see how things actually done step by step, you can go and watch it. But as far as a project management lead is concerned, these are the things you should be prioritizing. Ensure the security of production environment is fully implemented and validated by before go live by configuring all security practices and policies for SaaS pass, setting up final access controls. The priority achievement is here is in the aligning business goals is to by conducting final reviews, check if the intended value has been delivered. How do you do that? You have all the list of activities, input, outputs, tools and techniques, plus the deliverables that we're going to have there in the next sheet. I'm going to show you, go through it. So for each of these areas, you have what you should have done by the transition and go live phase. Uh, so these are the deliverables. Scroll to, let's go to transition and go live now. So you can see that consolidate data, final documentation, operation on this. You can see the final documentation index, project data, all these things were approved. You can see where the location. You can put the link to the SharePoint or the link to the project management software here, or a PDF or something. You can see all these important things. These are the documentations that were approved by clients. And you sent to them, approved. They sent you email back. Thank you. We're okay with this. So these are the technical design certification, the integration design documents, the master project plan, master test plan, cloud adoption strategy, all these things. They say you should have it at this phase of the project. So you should have it if you want to manage the project very well. This is as per Oracle. That's what Oracle says we should have. So we as the Oracle professionals must have those things. Takis said we should have it. I have the worst situation here going on here. I don't know what's going on. Apologies, I'm so sorry. Well, can't help it. Application package installation kit, content. It says you should also have application deployment architecture diagram. You must have a diagram like this that shows the architecture deployment, correct? You should have bill of materials. So you can see for the network, these are the tenancy quantity, the loader, the region, the ADFD, whatever that is, configuration size and details. Then yeah, so this is what you should have. You need to go through this, and you actually need to go through a live project to see and understand why every single thing is. It takes years of experience to be able to use all these different things and understand why they are there. But that is the job. This is a project that is going to take you a whole year to finish, from start to finish. So imagine the amount of work you have to do in a whole year. We can't cover everything inside this 1 hour video or this my few hours of recording. This is unthinkable to go through every single activity, every single risk, every single input, every single output, resource, and then look at the deliverables one by one and understand everything. It's not possible. So that's basically in conclusion. I thought that would never come. In conclusion, That's what it's all about, though, when it comes to the work breakdown structure and then the activities involved in each phase of the project. It wasn't easy for me to develop this entire activity diagram and everything. Honestly, it was some back-breaking work, and it's something that should be done over the course of a year. If a project is going to last one full year, these are things that you develop and create over the course of one full year. But I used like a few weeks, a couple weeks, or three weeks to develop this entire thing using Gemini. I use Gemini. Shout out to Gemini for helping me out to prepare this. And that's about it. That's about it. So the next video I'm going to make is going to be, according to Oracle, there are some things it's like a quiz. Let's just say there are some things you should know according to Oracle. Now, this is a list of activities and all, but they are saying, oh, at the end, you should be able to know how to activate this. You should be able to know how to do this. You should be able to know how to do that. Some of them are quite technical. You should be able to know how to create a detailed document, this and that. So I'm going to list out all those things, and then I'm going to have a quiz that will be I'll impute in the link there so that everybody can test their knowledge and see all the things that you should be able to know as an implementation lead. That's a full list of things that you should be able to know. And that will be the end of the entire series. And hopefully in the future, I'll make more series like this. But for now, for today especially, I think we have come to an end of this presentation. And I hope you have gained a lot from this. And I hope you have gained a lot from the entire series. And I um, hope to continue to make videos like this, just teaching myself and teaching anybody on the planet who might be interested in learning this particular thing, who comes from a background like mine, not technical but a non-technical background, who wants to learn how to handle cloud migration projects, and who doesn't have the funds to go to a proper college, university to learn this thing, doesn't know how to get the information. I hope you find this, and I hope you find it useful, and I hope it gets you the dream job of yours at the top company that does cloud migration projects. And give me a thumbs up if you like this content. Subscribe. Can't believe I'm saying this. Subscribe, comments, ask me one thing I missed. Tell me if you think my voice was clear. If you think the explanation was good, just tell me something so that I know that somebody watched the video. Whoever you are, God bless you for watching, and see you next time. Bye. Bye. Just imagine if this thing was not recorded.